All right. Okay. Uh, guys, welcome. Episode 6 of On After the Storm. One on ones again. Tonight we have probably one of if not the laziest gunsmith in the whole of Gold Rush. Um, Martin Chavez. Um, yeah, let's begin. Martin, hello.
How's it going?
Welcome,
Thank you for
welcome.
calling me the laziest gunsmith in the world.
I mean, the truth is the truth at the end of the day, right?
The truth will set me free, I guess.
It will. It will. Um. So yeah, let's just get into. Tell us a little bit about your character, who you play, and what got you into role play first of all.
Well, I play Martin Chavez. Right now he's a gunsmith. Before, say, 3.0, he was a blacksmith. Uh, Very briefly, 2.0, he was a gunsmith. So I kind of know what I was doing before, but um, that's about it. But story-wise, I flushed him out more later on at near the middle and end of 3.0. But he was um he's from Mexico, of course. He had a large family in a ranch, and he knew more about blacksmithing prior, before coming to the Commonwealth. So he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Um, and then later on, I just fleshed him out more. Like I decided, okay, he should have a sister and siblings and stuff like this. But the way he got in was like, he came here, I guess, illegally because I was trying to play it out with 3.0 how saying Mexico was off limits or boarded up or whatever.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And it's just how I just started playing him out as the days went on in 3.0. Because 2.0, I had no idea what he was gonna be. I was like, he just came into the Commonwealth and just hard to have fun with his friends. And then I
Was
got more serious.
so is Martin your first character for RP, or did you?
My very first character, yeah.
And then what got you into RP then to be like, I want to try this? Like, what was? Did
Um,
you watch it? Did you know about it? Did you RP anywhere else before
I
Red M,
watched
or
it a little bit before.
GTA was it?
I
Or
No, it was Red M. It was actually Gold Rush. I used to watch. It was somebody I followed on Twitch, and they would always stream Gold Rush. I don't know if anybody knows him, but he went by Jim Bob. He was a train conductor in 2.0. Um, so I just followed him around and started watching his streams, and I was like, I want to give it a try. He's like, yeah, just join in and we can help you out. And I just dove in head first. I'm like, I'll just make Martine and see how it goes, and that's pretty much how it went on.
so Martin is born, right? First character, no backstory, no nothing, just sort of like the very basics, or
Very very basics. Like he just ran around trying to figure out all the buttons and everything, and like if I punch somebody, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm new. I just got off the train.
there's nothing worse than the Red M hit E beside somebody you don't know and you start choking them out.
That's what I did. I think I choked somebody out the first time. Like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And then, so 2.0, 2.0, start of 2.0, end of 2.0, when did you first start
Like
building?
the very end. I think it was like the last 3 months or so. I think it was September I joined, or August. But I didn't play right away. I was like filling it out, trying to like understand the chat or the Discord and all that.
Yeah, there's
And
a
then
lot,
that's when I
to
joined
it
in.
nowadays. Yeah,
Yeah, it was interesting. It was like trying to mine, trying to understand, how to fish, how to hunt, and like where I set up was west of Tumbleweed, Paraíso. So there was like nobody there except for me, like late at night, just hunting around.
the safety net of like being around nobody for the first sort of week or two whenever you're brand new to everything, right?
Oh yeah, and I needed that badly because it was so much a learning experience for me.
Yeah. So you dove in head first, right? Watching first of all, and then just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna give this a go."
Pretty much, and then after I think maybe the first week I started like traveling. I went to like Tumbleweed, and that's where I met like the Vipers, and like I think some of the Ruthless were there too. I think Jane was like there. I know Nyx was there, but I didn't know them at the time. I just knew like there was a lady with a witch hat running around and training horses, and
Yeah.
some other people running around. And I was very shy. I was like, hi, and then I would just run off and go back to my shop.
So then, end 2.0 ends. So 2.0 is basically solo, I guess, maybe a little bit.
A little bit. I met more and more of the people in Tumbleweed. I spent more time there too. Like I would spend my nights over there just hanging out with it was Bubba, and Sage, who apparently passed away. So I'm a little mad at that right now. Alana, and then like some of the Vipers. So I would just hang out there, and then the medicos too. There were a lot of medicos that were just Tumbleweed was like their headquarters for the doctor's office.
Yeah.
So I'll spend my nights there just hanging out with them, and then like as soon as 2.0 was about to end, that's when I kind of figured, okay, I'll just dive into more of this part of the Commonwealth, even though it was like what another 5 minute walk or whatever from me.
Yeah. And then how was 3.0? So we 2.0 to 3.0 was minus 5 years, right? It was a 5 year turn, right? Yeah, it was.
I think it was 5 years.
And by then you have what, 2 or 3 months under your belt?
Yep. And then I was like, you know what, I'll keep Martine because I was thinking of trying something different, but I was like, no, I'm enjoying Martine. I'm enjoying what he's having right now with these people. So um that's when I dove into more of like, okay, well, how did he get here? How did he come into the Commonwealth? How does he know these people now? And
Yeah.
that's when I figured out, okay, well, he just came from Mexico and like just dove into it.
And whenever you're fleshing out your character, right? Are you doing it in your head? Are you writing it down? What way do you build your character?
For me, it's a lot of like open up notes or Google or the document and just start writing shit down. Like
Yeah.
I think for Martine, I had like an old document with like 4 pages of rough ideas of what he should be or what he's doing.
Yeah. Sort of like bullet points that you would flesh out as you went type of thing. Or
Yeah, and then more so, I was like, I want to dive more into like where he was born. So like I picked a spot. It was funny enough, the name was the Chihuahua. So I picked the state of Chihuahua,
right. Of course you
and
did.
I was like, I just picked it. Sorry, and I was like, okay, well, was there anything significant around that area in that time? And that's when I learned about the Comanches over there that would invade around there, evade and raid the towns over there. So I kind of fleshed out the idea that one of his grandparents was a Comanche, and so he has a little bit of Comanche blood in him.
Right.
And then that's when I kind of like dove into more of the native part of it, like later on in 3.0. So like if you have an idea for a character, think of a spot and then try to dive into the history of it, and you kind of learn a lot of fun things about that area for your character.
Oh yeah, like real places and real sort of like what happened back in like if your character's 30 years old, like what happened 30 years before the Commonwealth timeline, right? It's all good stuff for fleshing out like backstory and mannerisms and what characters like
Oh
and
yeah.
don't like, right?
Oh yeah. I was like, I have no idea what the fuck Martin is doing. I don't know how he started his life. And I was like, okay, pick a spot. Chihuahua. Okay, what's going on in Chihuahua at that time? It was a lot of um there's a lot of ranches there, but there's also a lot of trains that came in and out. So he's learning more and more about the world from trains.
Yeah.
And all the newspapers and letters and pictures or whatever he would see from them. And then that's when he learns about, his grandparents being part Comanche. So he's trying to understand that side of his family too.
And then so 3.0 kicks off. You're fleshing Martine out. How does 3.0 go for Martine?
Uh, the first night when like I guess you wake up into the new world or the
Yeah.
times or whatever. he got robbed.
Oh well, yeah,
There's always that group that comes in like, hey, there's that one person that's robbed him. So they're like, oh yeah, we know that spot. Let's take you there. And they took me to some random house, which later on became my house. And
oh
they're like,
okay,
okay, put your hands up. Is it a robbery? I'm like, oh shit, okay, here we go. And then
yeah,
they just took my money and then left. I'm like, oh well, start back from square zero. Start all over again.
yeah,
But first night was like that. The second day is when he started to meet. That's when more people started to wake up, like Benny and Bubba and all the Vipers. So that's when he got more into the gang life. Cause like before he knew about gangs, but like he didn't really
yeah.
dabble into it.
And how was that? Like, you'd obviously done a bit in 2.0, but you'd done no crime in 2.0, correct?
No, no crime at all. I watch people do crime. Like I see like I think my first week I saw like the ruthless like just knock out people in the middle of Armadillo, and there was Law right there watching them, and they didn't bat an eye. I'm like, oh okay, well that's probably like a powerful gang.
Yeah,
And 3.0, I was like, okay, well I want to dabble into that too. And then that's when I kind of got um I don't know how to say that. I guess they just welcomed me into becoming a Viper. I'm like,
uh,
you know what, fuck it, let's do it. Let's have some fun. And then that's where it all started. But I was fresh. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
and then,
I was like, how do I rob a store? How do I pickpocket you? I'm sorry.
and then, so I've found, right, and I remember back to the first time that I ever did crime. Whenever I was on my first GTA server, right? How did it feel? Was every noise that was happening like making you shit your pants? That whole adrenaline dump of if law comes, what happened? How was your
Oh
first
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
yeah.
experience?
I was paranoid out my ass. I was like listening to every sound. I was moving my eyes around, trying to figure out like, okay, where are they coming from? Who's where are they at?
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out like I don't know. I was just pumped up. I was like, even now, if we did a job, I would still be that same person. I'd be anxious as hell and nervous and paranoid.
but
But
it's
it's
a
a good feeling.
yeah, it's a good. The first time it's like, oh shit, oh shit, and then you realize, oh, it's kind of fun actually.
hmm I love doing houses in 3.0. That was my I guess my bread and butter or whatever. It was just
Yeah.
lockpick and then just doing the drawers and all that and then just running away.
So Martin joins the Vipers. Your first ever foray into like proper crime.
Like like the
Yeah.
real gang life, yeah.
How did you find gang life? Like, from a OC point of view, and like, because here's the thing, right? In gangs, characters fuck up, right?
hmm
And sometimes some people can't handle being told off in character because they think they fucked up someone else's game. Like, how did things like that feel to you? Because you're obviously brand new into crime.
I think that first I was like, "Oh, well, why are you yelling at me? Like, I know I fucked up, but like, I'm trying here." And then like later on, I started to be more relaxed about it. Like, okay, yeah, Bubba yelled at me. I didn't lock pick the register fast enough. That's why the law just showed up immediately, or showed up pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Um, I I take everything like I don't take it personally. Like if you yell at me in character, okay, that's fine. That's the characters having their own little beef right there at the time.
yeah.
Um, but personally, I'm like, yeah, I did mess up, but it was still a fun little scene right there. Just don't take it personally if you're trying to get into the gang life or trying to dabble in something like that. Just have fun with it.
Or just even conflict in general, like even just like a shouting match or something like that.
It's
There.
like
What was Martin? What was Martin's, and I guess yours, first sort of loss against law, like getting arrested and actually, you know, being a criminal.
uh,
Do you remember
oh
them?
I don't remember that at all. It was no. I remember it. Okay. Oh, what was the deputy's name? He was a very good deputy. I liked him. He had that voice that you knew who he was. Kind of like
The
I think
authority voice.
yeah. Um, think his name was Bo or something. He was WSL for a while, and then he became ESL. But he was a very good guy. We did a robbery at Saint Denis. I think it was the photo shop or the photo place.
Yeah, on the slums. Yeah.
And we're like, okay, we'll do a foot chase because we didn't have a horse or whatever. Like, okay, we'll do the foot chase. He he just fucking had his eyesight on me the whole time. He didn't even give me a chance to run away. He just immediately got me. I'm like, okay, you got me. Fair game. Um, it was just it was a fun chase. Like it was a good maybe 3 or 4 minute run, and I like just gassed myself out. I was like, okay, you got me. Just lasso me. Come on, let's get it quick.
Yeah, adrenaline pump for yourself, though, right?
Yes, yeah. I was like, oh my god, where did I go? I don't know Saint Denis. How do I need the hideouts?
So so tell me about Martin, right? You picked a place he came from, but you also fleshed out his family, yeah.
Yeah, so he had a few siblings. I didn't really want siblings in, I guess, in county, but I was like, I want to give it this whole Chavez family a start.
Yeah.
That's when I asked for somebody who wanted to try to dabble into the gang life and be my sister. And then that's when I got one person who was very interested in it. I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot because me personally, I was still a little nervous about it because I didn't know how it would play out, how if they even liked it, or if it would be like a 1 day thing and be like, oh yeah, I don't want to do it anymore, and then they leave or whatever.
Well, I think yeah, we'll sort of jump to that quickly. I think with Gold Rush, so like some of the servers that I've tried and played on, and especially No Pixel Public, right? There's nothing like that. There's nothing like the seeking rule, right? And
Yeah,
there has been times where I've been like, I've got an idea, right? And then you're worried, well, what if this person doesn't like it, or you don't like them? That's the other thing, right? You're worried that they talk the talk, and then whenever it comes to actually playing the character, they don't deliver, right? And then you're like, well, fuck, you know.
yeah, they don't deliver, or they like hate the idea after they get into it, and it's
Yeah,
just like, oh well, fuck me then, I guess.
yeah. Okay, so you get somebody to play Martin's sister, right?
Yeah, Elia. It was the very first day. It was like immediately. It was like that connection. Like it was like, okay, we're comfortable around each other, even though we just talked maybe for like a day about the characters and like how they grew up and all this other stuff.
Did you pass over a lot of information for them to play your character, or
Yes, and then we also kind of like dabbled back and forth about oops, sorry, about like how is she different than Martine. Like she gave me ideas about her character, so it wasn't just solely you were playing my sister, this is
yeah,
how she
this
is,
is
you
this
know.
this is what I want. Play this for me. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm very much for, if you have an idea, throw it at me. I'm not gonna say no. I want to read it and like understand it. So with her, it was very much like first day. It was that connection, and it lasted for a very long time until she needed, she wanted to take her leave, and I was perfectly fine with it.
Did
There's
did
people
they
that
did they
want to leave
perma the
though.
character, or
Yeah.
okay, that's big.
So there, her grave's over there in by Armadillo somewhere. I'm not gonna give the spot, but
Well, you sure that I'm gonna go and dig it?
yeah, fuck you.
And then okay, so a character that you've created technically, right? How did you push that death of the sister onto like Martin in his role play? Did it have an effect on him? Did it change anything with him?
it had a very large effect on him, and especially not him, but like also the people around them. But I'll get into that later. But for him, like personally, Martin, he was fucking wrecked. He that was his big sister. That was like, if it wasn't for like Martin's wife, like Elia was like, the one that always had his back.
Yeah,
Like if you talk shit to him, like she would immediately either fuck you up or just shoot you or whatever. It was that sibling bond that I loved about it. That it wasn't talked about, but like immediately she did it. I was like, okay, well that's how we're gonna play it out then. The big protector.
Yeah, so you got lucky. You got lucky with the person wanting to play it and how they play it, right?
Yes, very lucky. But it's also a good thing for people, like if like how you said it, you're looking for people to join like a role. If you're interested in it, play it out. Don't be nervous about it. Just give it a shot.
Yeah. Then I only learned this recently in Carter, not too long ago, I guess, that Martine has spawn all over the place. Is probably the best.
Not all over the place. Shut up.
All over. Isn't there like six of them or something like that? There. What? How many more? How
There,
many?
there, there's six of them.
Yeah, like, that's basically a posse.
So okay. Martine had one had so Martine was married to a doctor named Gaius in very early 3.0. They adopted a vet named Lori. Um, so that was their kid, and then when Gaius passed and Martine started to be with Ruth, that's when they adopted Tapper, and then they had their own little set of twins, two boys and two girls.
That's right. The double twins, right?
Mm-hmm. Apparently that doctors hate. Oh, twins, yeah, perfect, normal.
Yeah.
In,
Yeah.
in 1899.
Oh, look. There was a time there whenever there was triplets and fucking twins, Blackwater water. Just
No, for them it was Armadillo water, the lake over there.
oh, okay. And then, how many of Martine's children are currently in county played?
Currently four, and then the girls were they're taking a little break because we got them like I guess we had them show up or be of age near the end of 3.0, like when the war was about to happen.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, we'll just
So you have people to fill these roles, or you're going to be looking.
y- yes, we have people to fill our roles already.
Okay, so they're going to pop their heads up at some point.
Yeah, they'll show up pretty soon.
The Martine family, the Martine gang,
That was the joke
the
with the joke
Martinis.
with them. Just an old man with his six kids killing you or shooting you. Yep, it's gonna be fun times.
Yeah. So Martine, older sister, passes away. Uh, a full squad of kids, right?
Not just from me, but from her too. She has her own. She had her own little gang too.
Right. Okay. So basically, a full gang roster. Um, did you plan this, or is this something you just went along? Went with the flow with.
Oh, with her permitting or
No, no, with just like building the family, right, and then having
oh
RP'd or
actually with Lori, it was more like she joked around like, oh, I could be your guys' daughter, and we're like, you know what? Well, yeah, okay, you're our daughter, and we kind of adopted her like
yeah,
the next day. With Tapper, it was kind of the same way. She was joking around, but like, oh yeah, I'll call you mom and dad, and then we looked at each other like we could have that happen.
yeah.
And then with Tapper, we adopted him, and he still calls us mom and dad. And then with the boys, it was like, okay, well, do you want to have a family? Like, how do you want to play this out? And it was more like, okay, we'll just do a dice. So it was like evens, like just a single kid, odds. It was like twins or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we roll it again, boys or girls or boy and girl. And then that's when we got the boys.
So basically, the dice fucked you.
Yeah. She
And
was like, "Oh fuck, twins." I'm like, "I'm
yeah,
sorry, the dice don't lie."
look at the dice dictate everything, right?
Hmm.
So then going from so it's what 6, 7 months have passed since you started RP, right? You're in 3.0. And now,
Yeah,
for someone who's never RP'd before, you're now RPing like loss of your sister, like kids are popping up everywhere. How did you find that yourself as the player?
I found it very, very fun and very like a little bit emotionally draining. Like you're spending days on end with a certain person, and then like they decide to perma, and you're just like, okay, I understand that, but then like in the back of your mind, you're like, oh fuck, I'm losing like a good person with me.
Yeah.
With her, she gave me the heads up. She's like, I'm gonna be leaving. I'm just gonna, it's gonna happen at this time, and just giving you a heads up.
See, here's the thing, right? Now, I've thought of this before. I wouldn't tell a soul. I would just perma. I wouldn't tell, and like,
I'm
real.
teeter tottering on that.
Oh, so okay. Well, we'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, I don't think I would tell anybody. I think when it's Carter's time to have zero pulse, it'll just happen.
Oh yeah. For me though, like
Because then
if
you
I do
because
decide,
then you know you've just emotionally damaged like the people
mm,
around you, and that's good.
that is good, and like that's where you get very good role play, and then like you're making people like emotionally just drained for that day or that week, and you're just like, ha, 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 ha,
Well,
got you.
it puts in my opinion it puts the emphasis on them to react. Like if I know
Yeah,
that you're gonna perma, oh Martine, it's a bit porn acty, right? You know, whereas if I'm just Martine's dead, what do you mean? It's I think it's far better, right?
yeah. The one, okay, I'm sorry to like jump, but like the one
No,
that
no, go
got
ahead.
me was it was just the most random thing ever. Like in Armadillo, we kind of just fuck around. We fight each other every once in a while. Um, this happened with Bubba and a guy named Jack Daniels, or we call him JD. They were just fighting, and we were just having fun. And then like Bubba knocked Jack Daniels out, and then like, right, okay, we need a doctor. Somebody pick him up. And like
Oh, this guy just permed.
they, yeah, we were
Oh
like,
mother. Oh.
like it was a long one too. It was like, okay, well, we'll take him to the doctor's office. We'll get him treated, and they're like, we're sorry to tell you, like he didn't make it. And we were like, wait, what? Like it just
Was it
it
almost like
just
a
threw me off.
haha? What are you're joking, right? Type of feeling.
Yeah, because like with Jack Daniels, he is like the Joker type. Like he can be serious, but he's also like a Joker type. I'm like, okay, maybe he's just fucking around. Maybe he's just trying to, make us all worried and like come out of the doctor's office like, haha, I got you,
Yeah.
you fuckers. Like, no, he was actually permanent. I'm like, oh fuck, that threw me off so much.
Yeah, three of OC that people can just do that, right?
Hmm.
Then you've got to the stage now where like Martine's now part of the Vipers, right? Like Martine was pretty high up the Vipers, right?
Yeah, he was a captain.
Right. So you're basically like what, third row, right? Because obviously because it was Bubba, right?
Um, Originally it was Ben, and then Ben passed it on to Bubba, so Bubba became the leader. So it was Bubba, and then I think it was Benny and Sage. I don't exactly remember all of it.
Yeah.
Um, and then there was a few other people, and then I was more like just a member, and I was fine with that. And then like later on, I kind of started to get more and more into the robberies and crime life, and that's when they kind of like bumped me up more and more.
Well, it's like anything, right? Experience, like new things come, new people come behind you. They know nothing, so you naturally progress upwards, right? Whether
Yeah,
there's a rank behind it or
yeah.
time comes along, and you've got more time than somebody else.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Time and patience, I guess.
Yeah. And then
Because there's always those people that you meet, and then like they're in the gang, but then they're also like Well, if I would delete her, I would do blah blah blah. Like, okay, well, we kind of know what you want. What I do
Yeah,
then.
everyone's got big ideas, big ideas.
Hmm.
Um, and then, how did you find 3.0 then overall with Martin? Like, from the crime side of things.
I really enjoyed the crime life in 3.0. It was for me. It was very fun. Like early on, it was just just store robberies and a little bit of grave robbing here and there. But then like when we started to learn more about, oh, there's this guy behind this shed. He's giving out
Yeah,
if you bring a book, you can go in the house and clean it. I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll give that a shot. And then that's when I learned more, or started to have more fun with it, because I love doing houses.
time to come out of retirement, go and knock on some doors.
I mean, from what I hear, it's just you just walk in and do it. I don't like that. I want to lock pick the door.
Some doors are locked, some doors aren't. I don't know what the issue is, but
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Um, and then what was so obviously Martine is retired, right? In 4.0.
Hmm.
But did that was that something that you planned? Like when did that start? Like at the end of 3.0, when did you decide Martine's maybe coming to the end of his shelf life, being on the gang side of things?
Uh, it was more, I would say, kind of July, August is when I started to like debate about should I keep doing this or should I just like kind of keep myself away from it.
And
It was
was that like an OC thing where you personally get like, was it like the mechanical side of things you were getting bored of, or do you think you ticked all the
um
boxes that you wanted to do with like crime, or what was the catalyst for that?
no, I was still having fun with crime. It was more like I'm not gonna dive into it, but it was like a personal thing that happened. And I was like,
Okay.
I'm kind of feeling a little drained out of it,
Yeah.
and like I knew it was kind of like being taxing on other people too, because like they'd be like, oh, yeah, Martin, let's go for a job. I'm like, you know what, just take this guy. He's ready for a job. I can feel it in me.
Yeah.
And then that's when I started to kind of like realize like, okay, maybe there's something going on with him. And then that was when I was like maybe a week or before the war was like gonna end. I was like, you know what, whatever happens, I'm kind of just gonna put my buckle down and just step away from it.
This is the
And
Mexican War at the end of three, right?
yeah, which I enjoyed. It was a interesting take on the whole, fresh start or whatever they call it.
Yeah. And then from 3.0, right? If you can think that far back, because obviously Martin's an old man, right?
Very old.
Uh, what do you think was the best scene that Martin had?
The best scene, I kind of lightly touched on it, but it was when he was married to Gaius, and the person who was playing Gaius sent me a message saying, I'm gonna perma Gaius in this amount of time, and like it wasn't like oh, he's gonna die, just you're gonna wake up, he's gonna be in the hospital or the doctor's office dead. It's gonna be like we're gonna play it out where he has cancer.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, for me, like barely getting into roleplay, I'm like, oh,
It's
okay,
a heavy storyline, right?
yes, like that wrecked me so much. When I see the person that played Gaius and we talk and like he kind of brings it up, I'm like, don't talk about it. Like I don't want to hear it. This it still gets me sometimes because it
Cause,
was like really good.
yeah, because this is the thing about that. Like, yes, it's RP, right? But
Yeah,
you do spend time with like X person, X group, right? And like, yeah, it's in character, but like,
but like there's a hint of like you're having fun with the person behind that character. Like
yeah, of course,
they're
yeah.
laughing or they're doing whatever, but like you're having that connection with them.
And then like, does the person, the people that have permit, right, the characters, do they still play other characters or?
Um, the person that permitted Gaius does play characters on the Gold Rush server still. Funny enough, he plays Benny's kid, Teddy. So he's around every once in a while, and we talk. Um, he played Callum, the sheriff that was killed in the war or before the war started. So I guess he has a thing for permanent characters.
So look, some people are definitely like that. Like, oh, for fuck's sake, this guy's killing off another character.
Exactly.
It's just the people that love the emotional trauma of like fucking with people's heads, right?
hmm But yeah, but that scene was very it was very taxing, but it's also very good because like we played like the whole week where like he falls like it was like a nonchalant fall.
Yeah.
Like I'm on the porch of my shop, but he like passed out, and then we had a doctor, take him and carry him carefully, and then that's when they figured out, okay, this guy has bone cancer,
Oh, okay. So
and
not, yeah, not even a mild one. Just.
no, it was like oh he fell, he broke his ankle, and then like they checked the bones, it was like very brittle, like okay, well we're gonna test and see what's going on with this, and then that's when they gave us a week, or he gave me the week of this is
Yeah,
how it's gonna play out.
this is gonna happen. Yeah.
So we spent the whole week just doing whatever he wanted, running around, selling medical supplies, because at that time it was just like a higher ups who could sell medical supplies. So we were just driving around. The last day we just spent it in the mansion of Tumbleweed, because we got married like near there, and he was like, you know what, I always wanted to be a Viper, and we're like, you know what, yeah, we'll make you an honorary Viper, because
Yeah.
even though you're dying, but still we were always around us. You always helped us out. You always like cared for us when we got shot down, or we had
Oh,
problems.
see that smells like corruption right there. It's
Kind of like how they treat Harvey. It's like, oh god, he just likes people. He treats people like him. Like don't give him shit for it.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was me, Silas, Doctor Silas, and then a lot of other people started to show up and just say their goodbyes. So it was like it wasn't just me feeling the emotional, drain. It was other people that they role played with that felt that too.
Well, see that's it, right? Like no matter what character you play, right? Like you know, emotional drain, whether it's happy, you can have a fun day and then you're shattered at the end of it, right? But then
hmm
there's the other side of the coin where there is the emotional people, right, who enjoy crying, and it fucking drains you, right? You know, it can be draining doing like the mechanical side of things where you're like doing whatever, but like man, I've been tired being I've been at some things in RP and I've maybe said like 10 words, but like just because of what the scene is and like whether it's intense or dramatic or whatever, it's fucking tiring, right?
hmm
And
Like
it's a good feeling as
I've done,
well.
yeah, it's a very good feeling. I've done scenes where it's just like this person perma, and I'm like personally I'm like crying, but I can't talk because I'm like that type of crier where if I try to talk, it's just mumbles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm just like, do
You've got that.
nod slowly,
You got
or
that lump in your throat. Like,
yeah,
who's cutting
that,
onions?
that
Who the fuck's cutting onions?
that is me. Like when Gaius died, I couldn't talk. I was like, I think Silas was the only one that heard me cry, like in character. Like I was crying when he passed away, and then like when other people passed, I I got that lump in my throat and I couldn't talk, and I'd be like, okay, well we'll do slash do Nas, or
Yeah,
wiping tears away or whatever, because I can't talk. I can't even say a single word to you.
yeah.
So I'll do
If
some actions.
if you spoke, you just
Yeah,
yeah, snot
I
and
can't,
tears everywhere.
yeah.
But that, like I said, that's a good thing, right? Like the mechanical stuff is good, and like
Oh yeah.
being angry or being annoyed all the time, like whenever I'm playing with Ali, right, who plays Bobby, right, it's draining because it's funny, right, because I'm laughing, right, I'm laughing at the stream and whatever, and then it's like well, now I've got to be a real grumpy fuck. Bobby pisses Carter off so much, right? But I find it funny. But you're just your swings and roundabouts with like ha ha ha, and then all of a sudden you got to speak, so you've got to like drop. Carter talks a little bit slower, and you know what I mean. It's just RP just can be so fucking draining, but in a really good way.
It is, especially when like I'm that type of person where like if there's people being mad and being serious and trying to like be all like like swinging their dick around, like I'm the big guy here. Personally, I'm just laughing and then like I'm trying to like just keep my composure so I can talk in character and be like
Yeah,
the serious side too. But personally, I'm just like, okay, why are you being such a fucking like dickhead and trying to
yeah,
be badass? Which is I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's for me it's just funny, like just
yeah.
seeing how people
Well,
play the characters.
I think no matter whether you're new to RP or not, you can sort of tell when it. You can tell. There's just something you can tell whenever they're taking it a bit seriously and it's not in character. It's just
Yeah,
and you're
and
just
it's like,
like,
oh, okay, like
yeah,
simmer down now, calm down.
yeah, like log off, take a minute, or.
Exactly.
So, in 3.0, what would you say? Is there any aspect of 3.0 that you miss from 4 that you would be like, I wish this would come back? Whether it's like, well, we'll go with mechanical. Like, is there anything that you think I want this back, right? Big or small?
Hmm. I can't think of anything honestly.
I think one thing that, like, I'll give you an example of what I like. I enjoy house robberies. I didn't really care about. I like them a bit in 3.0, but in 4.0, I'm enjoying the fuck out of them. I just want to pickaxe a door. I want to pickaxe the door like you could in 3.0, right? Guaranteed ping to the law, right? Uh,
Oh yeah, that yeah, for
like
sure. Yeah,
like that,
if I get back to the crime, I would want the lockpick there.
is there a chance that Martin does this? Comes back to crime in 4.0?
Huh? You never know.
Okay, well, okay. Would you
But okay,
ever?
I'll
Would
I'll,
you
I'll
ever?
say this.
Yeah,
You know how when the storm happens, in Saint Denis
yeah.
and the power goes out, I have like my
Oh,
teeth chatter and I get that
look.
itch. Like,
As soon as the power goes out, it's like Stockholm syndrome, right? It's like I should go check the gallery. I should go check the fucking
exactly.
pawn
Like
shop. You know?
how you have the dog just laying there asleep and then like their ears perk up and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just look
yeah,
around.
yeah,
That's me. I'm like, I hear something. I hear electricity going off.
yeah,
I'm like paintings. Okay,
yeah. So
I would like that to be brought back into like fun little like paint the gallery shop or whatever, little jobs here and there.
yeah, we'll get into that down the line with like what's hopefully coming in the update. But tell me this here, let's say that Martin does get the itch, right? Would you ever put him back into a gang scenario, or do you think you would? Because I feel like in 4.0, yes, there's gangs, right? But I feel like crews are more of a staple nowadays, or would you want that sort of like I'm representing, the gunsmith gang?
Uh, I I haven't even thought about joining a gang. Like, so Martin was kind of given an offer to join a gang. I'm not gonna say by who, but for him, he was like
With the Eastern
he
Sheriff's
had that
Office.
the biggest gang in the fucking world. No, um, when he was offered, he was like, ooh, like he had that feeling of being like, okay, well, maybe I should dabble here and there. But then again, like he is a family man. He is like apparently the laziest gunsmith now. So like he has time to do stuff like that. But he never he hasn't really thought about doing a gang yet. Maybe like helping people out here and there, like being like the 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 picking or whatever. But like joining a gang, he hasn't thought about it yet.
Because it's a commitment as well, right? Like,
Yeah,
Martin has technically been solo, right? From that part of the game for a long time now, right?
yeah, he has. Like
So
he has friends here and there, but like still like just he's is more by himself in Saint Denis.
do you, because like, it's a little bit like harder to a degree, right? Where do you think that Martin's been on his own? I don't mean like, the family or anything like that, but do you think he's been on his own too long that he wouldn't not be able to take orders, but like he's so used to being his own person, right? His own boss. Does that make sense?
Yes, it would be like that for sure. Because even before like when he was in the Vipers, it was more like I kind of know what I'm doing. Let me do this. Like he would be like the lock picker,
Yeah.
or the guy that would drill the safe. Get it out. Be like his own little thing. Because I'm terrible at negotiating or being a I'm kind of decent at taking care of hostages, but like for me, I just want to drill a safe or do the lock picking and be in my own little world.
I think I think the thing about like taking hostages, right? Being a hostage is you are a mechanic, right? That you stop
Hmm.
the law breaching or whatever, right? You get the Mississippis. I think one thing that, and I know, like, I think people here are very good. Like the Darnells are very good with hostages. Like, there's no hog tying, right? It's like make them like do slash surrender, so they're animated pose and stuff like that. There, I think a hostage is nothing more that for like the people robbing than just you're gonna get me, last ass, ex Mississippi's, and this, and I think it,
Yeah,
it is overlooked by a lot of groups and gangs to even giving them a little bit, right? Like, one thing that I used to do was like just ask them stupid questions, right? Like smoother chunky peanut butter, like pit them against each other, like just a bit of interaction instead of just like hog tied on the floor, wait until we're done, and then we dump you and go,
yeah, because a lot of gangs like in 3.0 were like if they snatched like I get been snatched a few times and but like they see me as like you are a piece of paper. You are X amount of seconds.
Yeah,
You are last ass. Here. I'm gonna hand you off to the law. Read it, and then like here you are.
yeah.
Like with us, we were kind of like that more so like we just have them hogtied. But then like we started more and more of you know, we'll hogtie you, cut you out, cut you free, and then here surrender, and we'll have little chats here and there. Um, I forgot who the couple was, but it was a couple from Saint Denis. They were like barely going on a date or having a date night,
Oh,
and they're like, "Oh well,
ruined.
we're having a date." Like, "Oh well, here's your here's your next part of the date,
Yeah, it's
your
memorable, right?
hostages." And like they were having fun with it. Like they weren't being like oh my god, I'm being a hostage. Why on our date? Blah blah blah. They were like, "Oh well, this is gonna be a fun little conversation. When we get back home." Like, "Oh yeah, so how was your date?" Yada yada yada. It was fun. We had a few good people. Like also we had London Farley as like our I think our first hostage ever for a store robbery.
With the lawman. Oh,
Yes.
well, sorry. I should say ex lawman now, right? Because
Nick Solomon.
that's what happens when you shoot your own, right?
Before he was a lawman, he was like, okay, there's a reason why I call him Pervert Farley. It's because
Oh,
like
oh,
when we met him, he was like stalking people in Armadillo. He was stalking Sage, and then Sage and Bubba had a daughter, um, adopted, but like he was stalking her or both of them, and like I think one day, I think it was the daughter went up to their apartment, and he was just there sitting down, sharpening, or um um whatever something with his knife on the chair. And like, okay, well, what the fuck are you doing in the apartment? It's like, oh, I didn't know it was your apartment, yada yada yada. And like, Bubba just threatened him and like it knocked him the fuck out.
yeah.
And he kept following us. Like the next day, he would follow us. Like we would go to a new town, and he would be there. and we're like, you know what? We're gonna do a job. If he shows up in Saint Denis, we're gonna grab him. What happens? He fucking shows up. We grab him. We do a fucking job. I think it was his first video ever too. He was in the photo gallery or the photo shop or whatever, and he was threatening to fight me.
Right.
I was laughing so hard I couldn't really answer him. I was like, oh well, this guy's being fucking dumbass. That was the start of our the whole pervert Farley saga or whatever. And now he's fucking what corrupted Farley.
Lucky he didn't get the firing squad Farley. So, uh, what was your favorite job in 3.0 apart from houses? Like stores, banks, oil. Like, what was your favorite?
Favorite job would be um the bank in Saint Denis. I forgot which one it was, but it was just a fun foot chase. I think it was like more towards like where they were like not giving you foot chases. It's like no, if
Yeah.
you don't have a horse, too bad. We're gonna get you anyways.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? Like, I'm not a big bank and store guy myself mechanically, right? I have no problem doing them, but I do think Saint Denis it's too it's almost too good for the crim, because there is the chance of a little bit of desync where you see them like run straight on, but they've actually turned left, and then it's like, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful city and it's great for hiding, but it's maybe honestly like I've seen some food chases where it's been like they've gotten like 5, 6 Mississippis and like you can be gone in fucking 6 seconds in that city. Like you can
Oh yeah, yeah.
vanish. I think food
I
chase
I I, I
three.
know my route. I know
Yeah,
my route. I will get away from you.
yeah. I think from an OOC point of view, like if you want a food chase in Saint Denis, 3, 4 tops because it's just a fucking rat tunnels everywhere, right?
Oh
There's
yeah.
bushes, there's fucking jumps, it's anything real dark. Like if it's at nighttime, right? There's some spots where you would not see anybody, and they could be wearing like bright pink.
The funniest chases are so we've done foot chases in Armadillo before, and
And and go, and
you
go
would
where and go
you would
where like into the fucking cactuses.
uh, yeah, it worked. Like you would see people run off, go in a certain direction, and law are like you think okay, law's gonna grab them, and then like minutes later you see the lawmen by themselves just throwing a hissy fit, saying like, where the fuck did they go? I don't see them. I couldn't find them at all. And like it's just a fun thing. Like have fun with it. Like okay, you want to do a horse chase? Okay, that's fine. But like foot chase armadillo, wait, what? As a lawman, I would be laughing like, okay, well this is easy. I'll grab you so fast. Then they come back just like defeated because they couldn't find the person in a bush or
Yeah,
behind the
just
cactus.
jump into the bush and hit that slash E sleep 2 or 3, right?
I mean, there's a reason why I always like pick green colors for my I guess my robbery outfits because like when we did foot chases in armadillo, I would just run and just crouch. I wouldn't do anything like that. I wouldn't do like sleep or whatever. I just like crouch and then just wait it out
Yeah.
and see if they. I had one person pass by me and not grab me. They were just so focused on like being straight ahead or whatever, like they didn't really like run around the bushes
Well, you
because they could have
whether it's
bumped into me.
whether it's GTA or RDR, like there is a saying that long cops their vision's based on movement, right? Like T Rexes,
Hmm.
and it's true, right? This is not not throwing any shade, but just they're just if something stops moving, it's just like it almost like it blends in. they, they, they
It
can't,
does.
yeah, they gotta have a moving target 24/7.
Even if you're like wearing like a white shirt, you're not moving. They think it's like foliage or something. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll run past you. Just go after this horse that's running away from me.
And then least favorite thing mechanically wise, like job wise in 3.0, what was the one you were like, for fuck's sake, here we go.
The one that got me kind of early on was the very first cash register little mini game
Right?
where it was like the 1, 2, 3, 4, but it was like super fast, and for me, that was my death right there. I couldn't grab it at all. Like I would get the good ones, and then like the very fast one that showed up, I was like, nope, I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah.
That's the one that bothered me the most. Every other mechanic that I've kind of dealt with was fine. Like even the bank robbery ones where it was like remember these colored blocks or whatever, and then just grab them real fast. Like I would kind of remember it. It would take me maybe one or two tries, but I would still grab it. Registers, no, I didn't even bother.
Just the quick swing on the number just destroyed you.
hmm I don't know what like I could do. I could grab I could tame a wild horse. It was the same mechanic for that, but registers like it felt a little bit faster.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Like some of the doors in four, right? Like some of the houses I have had the lockpick, and like you get the slim red marker on the E, and it's fast. It's like twice as fast as a
Oh
horse. So, but it's doable, right? You know, if my old ass can do it, anyone can do it, right?
no, yeah.
So, how did Martin get on then with the Mexican storyline at the end of 3.0? Because obviously, you know, yes, it was a reset. It wasn't like the 2 to 3 reset where it was a time travel back. And how was the Mexican War for Martin?
Uh, for him, when it happened, he told Benny and them like, if we get invaded or if Armadillo gets invaded, and we defend it, whatever happens, I'm putting my buckle down. And then that's when it happened. Oh my god, that whole day of them invading the towns, it was chef's kiss. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Even though I think we were like the last one though. It was just me and a couple of other people, so we didn't have as many people, but it was still fun. Um, so after that, he didn't really have any harsh feelings towards the Mexicans. He kind of understood why they were doing it because like he was like, okay, well, why are they invading? And then like you kind of get bits and pieces here and there from other people saying what was happening. Um, so for him, he didn't really have like that harsh, I want revenge for what they did to Armadillo or the town or whatever. It was more like, okay, well, I see why you attacked. You're trying to make a point of what you want to point out.
Yeah.
Um, but like his real first introduction to the Mexicans was like when he had his shop and they tried to rob him. So it was fun. I got shot down. I think it was me, Grandpa, Tommy Darnell, and then like some other forgot who else was in there. We all got shot down. We got robbed by them, and then that's when we got introduced to Rafa and everybody else. So it was a fun story.
And then for Martin, right? So the war happens, and then, you know, obviously 4.0 kicks off, right? Where was Martin at?
Martin was in Armadillo for a bit. He was still hanging out with Benny and them. Like they knew that he wasn't in the gang, but they were still having good conversations and just chatting and helping each other out, trying to rebuild. And then he was like, you know what, I want to dive into being a gunsmith in Saint Denis. If you guys want to help me out with grabbing materials, I'm more than happy with it. I'll help you out with whatever you guys need. So
So
it was
then in 4.0, you decided that, like, you know, Martin needed to move away from Armadillo from the west, or
3.0, yeah. He didn't know where he wanted to go, but like 3.0 is like, I just want to try something different than being just an armadillo. Like 3.0, he was in armadillo the entire time. Like if he went out for like jobs or whatever, it was just because he would go to the east just for jobs. He wouldn't go to the east, to enjoy it or whatever.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was more like, okay, we'll
You
do the
were
job,
you
go
were
go to
busy
east.
keeping your porch nice and warm, toasty.
And helping the community.
But that sort of was the mentality in 3.0, right? Like, you know, for a lot of gangs, like, you know, they were in their area until it was time to do like XYZ, right?
Yeah, I think for me though, I enjoyed the helping out blacksmithing part of it too. Because I'd be awake late at night or like early for I think for like your time zone, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, I need a blacksmith, and then like they see me awake, and be like, okay, well I'll go to him. And it's even more fun when certain mama missions were happening and you needed nuts and bolts for certain things, and I'd be the only one awake, and they grab stuff from me.
So at this point, right, then you're like, right, I want to move Martin away. Was Cinti Gunsmith his first choice then for where he wanted, or
I actually wanted to try and grab the Valentine one, but I think I was like, you know what? I Let me just look at the gunsmiths again and see what they look like inside. And that's when I found that I really liked the one that Saint Denis had.
yeah? Because in 3.0, the Cinti Gunsmith was like very hit and miss, and then it would be owned, not owned, owned, not owned. Which is Valentine has become that, unfortunately, right? Just
Oh yeah.
where it was owned, not owned, owned, not owned a few times, right?
I think it was Valentine and then Rhodes too. I think Rhodes had like two people that owned the gunsmith down there in 4.0. But for me, I was like, you know what? I like this spot. I like what it looks like inside. Let me just give it a shot.
Yeah.
And so I wrote my proposal, waited, and then that's when I got a telegram back. You got approved. Here's what you go. Enjoy. I was like, fuck yeah, let's just try it.
Yeah, and then that moves on to like the business side of things. So, like my Carter has my characters have never had jobs, right? Because playing a crim, I like them to like make their money doing whatever, right? Um, how did you find on Gold Rush like applying for a business overall, like the OC part? Walk us through what sort of like applying for a business is like on the server.
Uh, when I first applied in 3.0, it was very challenging because I didn't really know how to write a proposal or what they were expecting. So I was like, let me start a rough draft, see how it goes, and then give it to somebody who owns a shop already or owned one before in 2.0, and be like, hey, does this look good? Do I need this change here and there? Um, and they gave me some pointers here and there, and I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then for me, writing wise, like I like to write, so it wasn't a challenge for me to like write up a proposal in like under an hour or whatever. Um, it was more so trying to figure out how do I grab the person's attention and who's approving the proposals.
Yeah, because I
And
would say that like gunsmiths and probably saloons are like the big two, right?
yes,
Like, oh, I'm gonna own a fucking gunsmith, right? Because everyone, look, it's 1899, everyone's buying guns, right?
everyone's buying guns, everyone's buying food, or
Yeah, so it's probably quite a hotly contested, you know, market, right?
yeah, because yeah, when I first sent in the proposal in 4.0, they were like, well, you got rejected. I'm like, oh fuck, okay, well, is there a reason why? They're like, well, you're in a gang. I'm like, no, I left it. They're
Oh,
like, are you
okay,
sure? I'm
yeah.
like, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, we'll send in another proposal, and we'll see. And then that's when I kind of like rewrote my proposal and sent it again, and I was like more towards like, I'm venturing out to the east, to see what I can offer for my kids and my family and what life they can have with it. And
So
then that's when I got the
so
approval.
so there's RP backstory, I guess, to the
Yes.
proposal as well. Not just like I'm gonna own a gunsmith, I'm gonna have these many deals and this price for that. It's like this is
N-
how it's
Yeah,
affecting
yeah,
my
no, no, no.
character. This is what my character hopes to gain out of it. And
Yeah, I kind of brought that from the 3.0 proposal, like Martin, he wants to own the blocks not just because he wants to make money. It's because he wants to help people out. He wants to make sure, if you're mining and you need a pickaxe, okay, well, there's a shop very close by you where you can buy a pickaxe for, fairly cheaper than what the guy in behind the shed is going to offer you.
Yeah.
And like or for the community, I'll do this and that. I'll offer a prize for whoever's going to have a raffle or whatever going on. And then that's where they see the role play in it. Like, okay, well, he's not just thinking about making money or just having a shop just because he wants a shop. It's because he
Yeah.
wants to actually do something for the community.
Because I'm sure that happens, right? Where like, I guess it's like whitelist applications. There's people who just like, you know,
I want to shoot people. I want to
yeah, I
rob
want to
people.
shoot people. I want to, I want to own saloon. I want stripper poles. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, like no, you're getting rejected.
yeah, and that's a good thing, right? Like there should be quality to it, right?
Yeah, there should be like some sort of effort into what you're giving them in the proposal. Not just here's my name on my shop, here's my character's name, here's what the shop is gonna do. Okay, well, why do you want the shop? Why do you want the shop in this certain town? What are you gonna offer, the town or the people that come to you? And then that's kind of where you can go off and just write your own little role play in the proposal about it.
Yeah,
So for me, it was just like, I want to make guns, but I also want to make sure they have affordable guns because, like, in I'm kind of including the war. Like, okay, well,
yeah,
everything's fucked. We don't our economy's fucked, so I'm not gonna make a gun that's worth like $1,000. I want to make sure when I make a gun, you get it for a fairly good price.
yeah. I think with like, so obviously the change in pace of RP and stuff like that, there from 3 to 4 or whatever, right? I think I was like 2 weeks in before Carter even got a gun. Like,
Oh, I didn't own a gun until like I actually got the gunsmith.
yeah,
I was just a crossbow or a bowman and then a knife.
one knife.
We go
Yeah,
hunting.
yeah. Like it was, if it was 3.0, you'd be like, I need to get a gun. Need to get a gun. Have to get a gun.
Yep. There's always those people that fresh off the train, wake up, run to the gunsmith in Armadillo. You got guns for sale? Yeah, we got guns for sale. Okay, they buy the gun and they're off doing their own thing. But
Yeah,
4.0, okay, well, where do I grab this and that, or how do I make money? Okay, we'll come to the gunsmith, get this bow, get some arrows. Make sure you grab that knife there. Go around the swamp, kill some gators. You get some good money.
because as a gunsmith, right, you're almost like, now depending on the person's character, but you're one of the first like store interactions, right? So
Yes.
you're a little bit tutorial, right? To a degree, right? With like newer players
Yeah.
coming in, right? How do you find that personally?
Uh, I find it fun. There's some people are just run in. You know they're fresh. You try to say hello. How you doing today? And it's just like, oh no, I'm here to just grab this and that, and then they just get it and then they run off. You're like, oh well, okay, well bye then.
Yeah,
And then there's some people that come in, be like, oh, how do I, where do I get a gun from, or where do I get a knife? Because I hear I need a knife to go hunting. Like, oh, go, come over here. You see this guy behind the counter? Talk to him. He'll help you out with the knife. He'll help you out with the bow. If you need anything else, I'm here at the shop. From this time to this time. If you need anything else, just come on by. I can help you out.
yeah.
And most of the time they do come back because I gave them a little bit of interaction instead of just like, oh, well, what do you want? Okay, talk to this guy here.
Yeah, they
Go.
now know that gunsmith in Saint Denis, like, he will point me in X direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I enjoy. I've said this many a time, right? I enjoy the new person and seeing their, because like we've like, if I made a new character today and went grave robbing or whatever, yes, it's new for the character, but it's nothing for me, right?
Yeah.
Whereas seeing that person who's never, they're new to RP or they're new to the crime side of thing, maybe they play a doctor or a civilian, and like they're shitting their pants, they're like every sound is freaking them out. Like I love watching that, right?
It's so fun.
And you scare them, right? And then that they've like thrown their mouse across their like desk because their character spun around like 7 times. It's good stuff.
Or they just stop and you're like, you
Yeah,
okay there, buddy?
yeah,
He's
yeah,
like, yeah, I'm good.
yeah,
But they're just they just had a spasm. They just screamed really loud or something like
Yeah, like they took their hand off the keyboard or something.
that.
So back to the businesses then. What is there anything that you wish was different about a plan for a job? Is there anything that you just think like this is way too hard for what it should be, or what are your gripes with a
uh,
plan for a business in 4.0?
Proposal wise, no, it is very straightforward. Like they tell you, okay, well, you want a business. Why do you want the business? But then you should, in the back of your mind, you know you're in a role play server, so you should give some sort of role play in the proposal. Um, what I would like though, it's kind of like how they're doing it with 5M is like if you give in a proposal, you get approved, you should probably meet the so-called owner of the property or whatever
Yeah.
before he hands you the keys or the paperwork to sign where it says, okay, here's your shop. Like he actually wants to talk to you and see if you're all about what you said in the proposal. That's kind of what I want to see, like, more interaction with that side of the whole business thing. Not just, okay, here's your telegram, here's your shop, have fun.
Yeah,
I want to see them, meet my character, and I want to meet the so-called, the owner
the
before he
landlord.
hands off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about like what's your opinion, right? Because obviously you've paid your loan off. What's your opinion on like the business loans and like because there's quite a difference between like some of the business loans are like what 8-10 grand, and then some of them are like what 30 grand, right? What's your
Yeah,
opinion on
they're
like this business is worth this much and this business is worth that much, like
I would say,
because horse trainer, am I right in saying horse trainer's 10 grand?
I think it's 10 or 15. I think.
Yeah, and then
I
gunsmith
think
was
I
what
think
20.
for me I think it was like 30 or 25. And then I think ranchers are the most expensive or saloons are. But then again, that is like the top, business where no matter what, you're always going to get that much money pretty quickly because you're buying food. But like for gunsmiths, I think it takes a bit before before you're able to pay off the loan. Like for me, I sold guns, but then also like in my off time, I would just go hunting for a little bit, put a little bit of money here and there into paying off my loan.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just my gunsmith that paid off the loan. It was like me doing other little jobs here and there.
Well, this has just been brought up in chat. Is actually something I was going to ask. Like, do you think that your gunsmith? Let's assume it's 20 grand, right? Just for argument's sake.
Hmm.
Do you think that Cinty, big city, prime real estate? Do you think somebody in Coulter or Tumbleweed or Parma should be paying the same, or
Uh,
do you think that there should be a
mm,
difference because of like the location?
there should be some sort of difference depending on the location, like Coulter as well. Like I'm not sure if he's still around, but I know the guy up there. He was getting business,
Yeah,
because he had good prices here and there. But like it should be, if he's in Coulter, okay, maybe bump it down because who's gonna go to Coulter
yeah,
besides people gonna go ice mining,
yeah, yeah.
or like who's gonna go to Plainview besides oh well we can't go to Mexico anymore, so why would we go to Plainview now? Or Annesburg is a good location. You're literally right by a mine, so I
Ansburg is one of those outlying cities because Ansburg technically is an outlying city. Coulter, Tumbleweed, um, but it's a weird one because of the stuff that it has around it, right?
hmm
But like I said, I agree. I think if like a gunsmith in Saint Denis or Blackwater is 20 grand, then one in Coulter or Tumbleweed should be like 15, right? Just because of the geographical location, right?
yeah, exactly.
You ever thought of bringing that up with them, or
uh I have, and I probably might write another letter.
Yeah,
I've been like
because
rough drafting here and there.
it makes sense, right? It makes sense from an in character point of view and OC, right?
Exactly, yeah. Like I want to make sure you're having whoever's owning a business in this town is having fun and not just
Well,
stressed
yes,
out about
yeah, because this is the thing, right?
unknown.
It's a loan, right? But it's a game, you know.
Hmm. Like I would even be fine if they knock down prices for every city because I know people are struggling even in major cities like Blackwater or Saint Denis or
Yeah.
Armadillo or Valentine. Just make it where it is sort of a struggle, but also let them have some fun
Do you think
where they're not just constantly in the shop.
Do you think from a business point of view that's a good idea? Like, for example, use Strawberry, right? Do you think like, I don't think there's anything open in Strawberry now. Do you think that you could almost call it in character, right? Like the governor of the state or whatever, right? Is like lowering rates and taxes and loans in Strawberry just to like be like, oh well, it's 30% cheaper to start a business here. Maybe I do that there, and then because that's what like governments do, right? And like local governments they do. It's like oh, this area is feeling bit of a tax relief, right? Something that could be brought into character, right?
Yeah, I would go for that immediately. Oh, there's nobody in Strawberry. How about the mayor, like you said, the governor of Strawberry, be like, oh well, I want to bring in people. I want to bring in business. Let me make this business a little bit cheaper to buy or have their loan paid off,
Yeah, like
so they can have that
you
saloon
know,
open again. Or
yeah, like the gunsmith is 15 grand to open in Strawberry, and you've got like an extra 4 weeks to pay it off, like something like a thing like that there, right?
yeah, exactly.
Is there mechanically wise anything that you think is missing from like especially your business that you would like to see added? Like in 3.0 there was billing. Is that something that you'd like to see back, or you're fine with that?
Uh, I think there's billing. I haven't dabbled in it when I did try it, it didn't work.
Right.
So it's
Okay.
like I'll try billing, but I would like billing to come back. It was for me. It was fun in 3.0. I would bill whoever did a large order. They didn't want to bring money, but I knew that okay, I'll bill you. Pay me when you get to your place.
Yeah. 1 second, Martin. Hold on. I just need to fix something. Sorry,
Yeah,
chat.
yeah,
One
no worries.
minute, one minute.
No worries.
All right. I think we should be good. Chat, is Martin good now, or is he still a robot?
Testing 1, 2. I am a robot.
Hold on. All right, give me one more. Should be fixed.
Testing 1, 2. Hello, everybody. Hello, world. Do I sound terrible?
No, it's me. It's me. Hold on. Hold on. All right, one more for me, and we should be fixed. Should be fixed.
All right, testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Do I sound terrible still? Do I sound good?
Okay, we're good now.
I
Okay,
need the help.
we're
Okay.
good. We're good. We're good. Okay, sorry about that, chat. That's me. It's me. Fuck. Where were we? Oh yeah, yeah. So anything mechanically that you would like added from a business point of view, whether it's like mechanically to do something like mini game whenever like you're crafting, because like right now, don't you basically like say you want to make 50 barrels, you just you know 50 hit go wait, right?
Yep, it's pretty much like that. What I would like a little mini game here and there for like maybe crafting the gun. Because like it's just
Because
like, oh, let me make your gun for you, and then it's like, okay, click click, and then I'm just waiting for the gun to be built.
yeah, so the thing that I was thinking of, and this came in, is like you're crafting. Say you're crafting 10, and it's going to take 10 minutes. But like every periodic time, there's a little mini game, I guess, for you to hit, and then maybe you crafted two, right? Or you know what I mean? Like it's your production line's like jumped one. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
you can leave it and just let it craft the 10 in 10 minutes, but if you pay attention and you hit the prompts at the right time, maybe 10 barrels takes you 7 minutes, right? Because at the end of the day, right, like there's people who, especially saloon owners, right, where like they could be sitting there for 6 hours prepping stuff, right? But
oh
imagine
yeah, I've seen that.
but imagine if you could like cut that down, like even 4 hours, right? Like that's a huge amount of time, right? Is that something you like to see them maybe think about implementing, like a little
I would
jump
love to see
speed
that.
game?
Yeah, especially like if we're making a gun, okay, I'm done, shaving, or I'm done hammering the barrel with the frame. Let me just, get a little mini game to put the trigger in or something like that, just to cut down the time just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Make it a little fun little time for
Yeah, it also
the
gives you
gunsmith.
something to do other than sit there and watch a progress bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like what is it now to make it from start to finish, right? What is it for you to make a gun, time wise?
Start to finish. If I have all the parts already in the stash, it'd be 5 minutes. And
Like
then that's not including if they want their gun customized.
yeah, well we'll just go with like if you had a mini game that like sped that along, like even 3.5 minutes, it's a lot more. Like there's been times I've been in your shop, right, and like you could be like 8 to 10 customers deep. That's there's a lot of waiting around.
That's like a good hour right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you even bring that down to like 45, 40 minutes, it gets like yeah, you're still RPing, right, waiting around, talking and chatting, but 45 minutes is better than an hour, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll give them this. Like in the very beginning, when I first got the shop, it was 10 minutes to make a gun.
Oof.
So like you were literally there for 10 minutes, showing a gun being made, but then you're also losing hunger and thirst. So you were like dabbling on the side of, if I make this gun, will I pass out or will I make it and will I
Yeah,
survive?
yeah,
So I like the idea of having a little, mini game for making a gun or making parts, because it does make the interaction more fun, because it's not just, okay, well, let me make this gun for you, and then they wait 5 minutes in the shop, or they just go off and walk for 5 minutes and then come back. It's like, okay, well, I made it pretty quicker than what I'm expected to,
yeah,
now let's get it customized for you. And then that's another 5 or 10 minutes of them, deciding on what they want to do.
yeah. Oh, wait, go forward. Just one shade darker. No. Go back. Can you start again?
Exactly. It's like,
Yeah,
do you have an idea? Yeah, I do. Okay, and then I show it to them. How about, can you make this a little bit brighter? Like, no, like
yeah.
as bright as I can go.
Like, Carter doesn't get attached to guns. Make it black. Done.
Exactly. Or how to look with a wrap on it. I'm like, oh fuck. Okay, I spent 5 minutes making your gun look nice, and then you want to look what it looks like with a wrap on it.
Yeah. Wrap still can't be taken off, correct?
Nope. You gotta start all over. You gotta get off the bench and start your gun all over again.
So here's something that's more of a crime point of thing. What do you think, right, about obviously guns have serial numbers now, right? Law can log them, blah blah blah. What do you think? Now, it's a bit of a risk, obviously, on your business, but what if gunsmiths had the ability to file off and restamp guns? Do you think that's something that should be brought in? You'd like to see brought in?
I
Because
would like to
it's an
see.
ethical thing, right? Like you risk your
Yeah,
business, right?
you risk it, but then it's also like, well, if I say no, will I lose business in like that sense, or will I get threatened later on because
Well, I was
I
think
didn't want to
I was thinking
file.
more along the lines of no, I don't want to like a corrupt doctor or a corrupt lawman, right? Like it's something that you've got to okay. So like I don't know, the file or the stamper is something that has to be built over time, type of thing, from other parts of the game, or maybe something you apply for, and then you know what I mean. Like it doesn't have to be every gunsmith because
Oh yeah, no, no,
you know what I'm trying to say. Like
I would like to see that happen too. Like I had a few people come in like, oh, I have this gun here, but this the serial number looks a little bit off. Is there any way to like file it down? Like, well, I could try, and then like
yeah,
just go in the back, just try to see if I could do it, but I can't. I'm like, well, I can't do it for you. Like, I don't have the file for it. And like, oh, well, I heard you can do it. I'm like, well, I think you heard wrong because I haven't, I can't do it for you. But I would like to see it happen. Like, like if I need to talk to a blacksmith or talk to a certain shady person, in another town and try to get some parts here and there, I would like to see that happen.
and Martin would because again. The wrong person hears, and look, we all know what like the criminal side of the Commonwealth, like fucking shit spreads like wildfire, right?
Hmm.
And then someone's gonna snitch, someone's gonna speak too loud, and like some sheriff's gonna hear it, some deputy, right? They're gonna hear it, and then all of a sudden, fucking bang bang, Nala's kicking your door in.
I mean, she could try it, but
Well, I mean, she could kick the bottom of the door, right?
yeah,
Yeah, but
just put
but
a
like,
little foot stop there.
do you not think something like that from a business point of view is the chance to lose the business you're willing to take for the RP of like Martin scratches serial numbers?
Yeah, I like that idea. Like, I've done a little illegal stuff here and there for the blacksmith, but I haven't had law bat an eye at me. So I would like to see that be played out here. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I hear this gunsmith's doing certain things. Let's go, investigate.
yeah.
And then I get pressured. It'll be fun for that.
Because speaking of illegal business stuff, right? In 3.0, I don't remember who owned it. It might have been back whenever the Misfits were up in Coulter, but the saloon up there had beaver tail soup, right? So it's a poached animal for the ingredient. Like I would like to see things like that come in. Like the businesses have a choice, right? Like there's this under the counter, off the menu thing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I know the Tapani had like Mad Honey or whatever, and then Mangy, when he had the bee farm in near Armadillo, he did his own little version of it, where it was like something illegal, like some sort of illegal drug that was part with the honey, and then you would drink it, and then you would be just high off your mind.
Yeah, and then throw up. Yeah, I had a bit of that.
Hmm. Like I think with Martine's wife, when she applied for it, she also included, I want to dabble with the psychedelic stuff,
Yeah,
and I think law or the government was like, here's a telegram. If you do this, you might get looked into. Are you sure you want to do that? No, so that's when she
Do
did, and
do
that's when
you
it's
think
fun.
do you think if you brought things like that up to the admins that they're worried that you just want to do that and that's why they don't do things like that? There, do you know what I mean? Like, I know,
Yeah,
yeah, like I know people
I see
who
it.
have wanted to become like corrupt and stuff like that. There, law, whatever. Um, but they get denied because their character hasn't got there yet. Do you think like do you think like oh, Martin just wants to be a gunsmith so he can like do dodgy guns? Do you think that's a factor that they think about maybe a little bit too much instead of
I think so, and not just like in my side. I think it's more like, oh well, this gunsmith wants to make this or that or be dodgy. They don't want to see how it's going to be played out in a sense. Like I'm perfectly fine being a civilian. Like I'll sell guns, that's fine. But I also want to dabble into like let me file a number down, make a new gun. Like I like they can't like I've already recustomized guns for guns that were stolen off of people.
yeah?
They allow that, so they should allow stamping of new numbers on a gun here and there,
Or not
just so they can drive that.
not even like new stamp numbers. Like just like the fact that it's filed off, right? Like that could be like, oh,
Yeah.
someone's doing this. Who has the tools to do that? Well, there's four gunsmiths open in the Commonwealth. It's one of the four, right? Which then gives them investigation. you have to be like, look, don't tell anybody I do this, or you'll do it for Carter, but you'll not do it for Dickie Darnell, right? You'd almost have to be more. You have more to lose than anybody at that point, right? Apart from
Mhm.
like a corrupt official. Right?
Exactly. It's especially like if people just walk in and be like, "Hey, I hear you can do, you can follow this number down." Be like, no, I can't help you. I can't help you with that.
Yeah, I have no idea what
You
you're
have heard
talking
from me.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I'll be like, okay, well, I've done it for this person and that person. Let me go talk to them real fast and be like, okay, well, who told this person that just walked into my shop and just randomly wanted it done?
yeah, because
It'll
it
be
gives
good
it
in
gives
the
you
role
it
play
gives
sense.
you yeah, it gives you like I need this fucking person found, right?
hmm Like who fucking spilled the beans? I want to know who.
Yeah,
Then it's up to Martin to be like, okay, well, you snitched or you told somebody about it. Well, good luck trying to get your gun file down now.
yeah, yeah. Actions have consequences, right?
hmm
Anything else business wise that you would like to see? Is there any businesses that are not a thing that you would like to see be a thing?
Uh,
Like in my opinion,
uh,
like for example, the fact that the newspaper has become a thing, I think is a great business, right? I don't know how he makes
I
money.
like the idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
but
is a good business right there.
is there anything that, apart from that, that is like I would like to see this, right? Because we have boat builder now with Timmy. We have there's a couple of new
Yeah,
things.
I would like to see like an actual in character photography person. Like they have a camera. They if you want to take a picture at this nice spot with you or just your gang or whatever, hey, you have this photographer here. He can take like a good picture. It'll be in black and white, but it'll be in character. It'll be like part of the role play.
Yeah, because of the way you need like the photographs in character now with the fucking for the IDs, right?
hmm And maybe like have it where this guy can make a picture frame too, and he can sell it to you. You can have it, in your pocket, or you can have it in your shop or
Oh,
your
you
house or
have it
whatever.
in your house. It's a placeable item.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because
That would be good.
I don't know why a lot of people know this, but the newspaper shop in Saint Denis has a complete black room, right? Like a dark room for like photo processing.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I need to go check it out then.
yeah. If you go in and you go into like where the press is, and there's all we call them files on the left. It's in around the back there.
Oh,
I have
okay.
definitely not kicked the door in a few times.
I mean, that would be see that's already you already have a little spot for that role play to be played out. Here, I took a picture of you. Let me go to this spot, and it'll be done in the day or whatever. Then he develops a film or the whatever, and then puts on a picture frame for you. Then you could put it in your house or wherever you want to place it.
Yeah.
Because I know there's always people that are getting married in the county and be like, well, let's have a photographer then. Take some
Uh,
good pictures.
yeah, yeah, and like all the ERP, right? Like, let's be honest, we know what people are like.
Oh yeah.
We've seen all those like houses where there's like a camera at the edge of the bed, or the corner of the room, right beside like
Oh yeah.
the solo chair.
It would make some very good, very fun scenes. Honestly, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm just taking this nice picture, and be like, no, we want you for something else. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you know what these RPers are like at times, right? So,
hmm
is there is there anything business wise that just like grinds your gears currently with 4.0?
Uh, Grants my gears. Just for me, it's like it's already been brought up, but like the time of crafting
Yeah,
or making a gun, like okay, 5 minutes, but then it's also not including like who's doing a bulk order. Like I've had some people bulk order like 10 guns or 15 guns, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's gonna be it's gonna take me a while, but if you're okay with that,
yeah.
Then they, oh yeah, we're fine with that, and then they come back like, well, are the guns done yet? Like, no, I'm still crafting them. It's just me. Like, can't really do it fast. But whatever I'm giving them is what I'm giving. Just overall, just crafting. But then like, I like the idea of having the little mini game.
Yeah.
So that would be a fun little experience. That should, not fully cut it down to like a minute for a gun. Maybe make it like 2.5, 3 minutes, something like that.
And then as a business owner, right? What do you think is needed to be a good business owner in character? Like traits or something like that there. Like what do you know?
Just always be helpful. Even if they're not giving you what you're expecting, just give it your all to it. If they're just coming here just to buy a knife or a bow, but like, okay, well, we have also this gun that's for sale right now, or maybe if you have that, oh, yeah, I see you have that cattleman. Do you need ammo? I
Yeah.
can sell you ammo for a lot cheaper, than what this guy sells it for you.
Yeah.
And then that kind of where it goes like, oh, you know what, you do okay? Well, let me buy some ammo from you then. Because I've had people come in and be like, I'm just buying ammo. I'm like, oh well, you want 20 more rounds for like 50 cents more? Just buy it from me. Like then you see them like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that from you.
Yeah.
That and then just have Google Sheets ready for you. Have
Yeah,
your pricing and everything.
I've seen some spreadsheets, and I tell you what, they would put some corporate, accounts departments to shame.
Oh yeah, mine is just very basic. It's just like, okay, you're getting this bundle. Okay, let me just drop down, click that bundle. Okay, it's this much for that bundle.
Yeah.
I've had help from Grandpa Darnell or Grandpa Callahan or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
He's helping me out with the sheet, so it's fun. Have it.
Another thing that I think, and I'm obviously not a business owner, right? I'm just, my character's a consumer, right? I think it's the business that hires for different storms, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I think, yes, whenever you're a new business owner, you've got this fucking wall of debt, right? You're probably making negative money, right? But if you hire, if it's me, you, and like two others, right? And we all play the 6 p.m. UK storm to midnight. That's not good. That doesn't help anybody, right? I
It's just competition at that point.
Yeah, I think in the ideal world, right? Seeing a business open like three of the four storms, like not permanently, right? I'm not saying like chain yourself to the fucking to the counter, right? But
Oh yeah, no.
like a spread workforce, right, is always going to
I
be do more for the town that it's in and the player base, right?
oh yeah,
Than
I've had a few people like that.
yeah,
Like I've had Brandy, who was like, I think my time, but she's also like just was up earlier or like up later, so she covered some of that time,
yeah.
and then
She was around the UK storm, and like, look, it's funny, right? Because trying to get Brandy to come do one of these, but like she, whenever she was in Saint on her own, she was like a lost puppy. She didn't know the streets. The only time she said she ever came there was to rob. Like she knew all the strats, but she didn't know like how to walk around the town, right?
to just tell her go to the bakery. Where's the bakery? Like, okay, yeah, it's not a
Yeah,
place you robbed before, so never mind. Let me show you.
yeah, yeah. But I do
it was
think
it was her. Then like sorry, Grandpa as well, and then Tommy because they're all later storms or earlier storms than me. So like, if I wasn't around, you would have them too, or whoever else was around to cover that shift.
and then like I think also like if you want to RP that you are like a business owner, right? Or working on a business. And again, I'm not saying strap yourself there for like the whole storm, but like if you play like this 6 hour segment, being consistent with like I'll be there the first hour, the third hour, and like the fifth hour, right? Whenever you know people know that you're around at this time, it's like, oh, it's open. It's X o'clock. Martin's going to be there. Consistency with businesses, open times, and like being there is pretty big, right?
Yeah, I make sure like if I am gonna open, whoever opens, they put that that open sign or whatever up. So um, but sometimes I'm just there at the shop and I just craft. Like I need that time to myself to like just craft certain parts here and there, just to make sure whoever's gonna be on that shift or clock in or whatever, they have the parts ready and they can make guns and don't have to worry about oh, I needed to make this part and it took me this amount of time before I could help people out. So for me, it's just like I make sure I make sure I have the sign up, or whoever's wakes up and wants to do a shift, they have that sign up too. And then, they already have their sheet ready. They have the commission stuff for whatever guns they make. Um,
Has Martine ever fired anybody for like just not being around, or that they're around but
fired,
they're you know they're running with like X gang.
fired, no. Like let go because like they wanted to do something different. Yeah, it wasn't like oh you're with the Vandals or you're with the Darnells. I'm gonna fire you. It was like, oh, you want to do something different? No, I understand. Okay, let me make sure this. Let me send a telegram and be like, okay, well, let me get you off the papers.
Is that annoying as a business owner, like hiring and firing because you've got to do it through the Discord? And is that
Uh,
something that you would prefer to have in character, like like your boss menu, I guess, right?
I would like that. Yeah, but I think ultimately, they every person that gets hired has to do that so they can they get the approval. But I would like to be a in character thing too. But like, okay, well, I know you're here. You want to be hired. I don't want to wait for the thumbs up. Let me give you my thumbs up because I'm gonna be your boss. Let
Yeah.
me hire you right now. But I can't, so I gotta wait, or we gotta wait for further approval. But I would like that to happen because I can fire people like in character,
But they can
but
still they can come back like 40 minutes later whenever you've logged off and stripped the place.
yeah, kind of want to make it where yeah, let me hire you, let me fire you, and then I don't have to worry about you waiting to be able to not look or look in the stash anymore.
And then, you know, other side of the coin, what do you think is like, the worst trait you could ever bring into like trying to run an RP business?
Uh, Worst trait would be just, I guess, a cocky attitude. Just like okay, you on gunsmith, you don't have to be so cocky about it. Like yeah, I run the best gunsmith in the county. This is why everybody comes to me. Blah blah blah. Like no, just enjoy it. Be friendly. If it's part of the story, okay, yeah, you can be a little cocky, but just be a good, I guess, a good employee or a good boss or a good just person overall.
Do you ever, as a business owner, do you ever feel, so we've had this with like doctors, right? When we're talking to some of the doctors, and a few law. Do you ever feel a bit NPC-ish to a certain degree, where people just like, yo, gun, make me gun,
Oh, yeah, I've like last night I had somebody be like, "Oh, Martin, I need my gun clean." It was just those words.
That's the
Okay,
whole
let's
that's the
go.
whole RP. Yeah,
Yep. Just okay, let's go. Let me clean your gun for you, and then I'll just give them the gun and be like, "Okay, here you go. Happy hunting. Thank you." And then they come back, the next week. Martin, I need my gun clean. I'm just like, okay, well, hello to you too.
yeah.
Or like, ammo. I need ammo. Give me crate ammo right now. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay,
Wait,
well, I
give
feel
me give me a second.
personally called out with that statement there.
It's not you. It's other people too.
Is there anything moving forward, right, with businesses that Is there anything? Okay, you have Simmons, right? A mafia for the day, right? Is there anything that you would like them to focus on apart from like the crafting time thing? Is there anything that you would like them to work on from a civilian point of view? Because at the end of the day, Martin, he knows what he knows, blah blah. But you're predominantly a civilian, right? Is there anything from the civilian side of life that you would like them to focus on mechanically? And like you've got them no holds barred. They've got 5 hour energy and 10 Red Bulls in them. They're ready to go.
Hmm. Do you have an idea? Because I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm like, mm,
From a civilian point of view, it's a tough one, right? Because I think business owners and employees, right? Apart from whenever you get those guys that just want, clean kit, go, 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 right? Civilian RP is very conversational heavy, right? Because they don't have the mechanic of talking and robbing this, growing that, shooting this, right? So I think some, I don't want to say mechanic because I don't think civilian RP is mechanic based, but something that only they can do. But how do you do that there without knowing that someone's a criminal, right? Because it would give it away, right?
yeah.
Because like, hey, Martine, do you want to come and do this whatever chore or not chore, but like, oh, I can't. Well, why not? I just can't. Oh, you must be a criminal then, right? I don't know. I just feel like if civilians could have something, what would it be that only they have? Because anyone can be a criminal to a degree. Anyone can be doctors of law, right? But like, what could civilians have that nobody else could have?
Mm, it's a very good one. Maybe like just certain civilian specific jobs. Like, I know there could be like a delivery service or whatever. They can only do like you know how criminals have the wagon. They can hijack a
Oh,
wagon
okay.
and
I get what you're saying. Yeah, you got the moonshine wagon and the
let
west wagon.
let them do like they deliver some goods to this town or the next town over
So,
or whatever.
okay, so that could the way you sometimes get the security companies that pop up for like a couple of
Oh
months or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, that.
Something that they have access to, where because am I right in saying now? I don't know whether you know either, but bounty hunters and game wardens have like I think they have like an NPC mission. I might be wrong on this. Where they can go and capture or do something, right? I think it might be a 3.0 thing, but like, what if there was a wagon job that was mechanical, right? Like an NPC version, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
1899 fucking truck simulator, right? Where
The
it's
wagon
like, where
simulator.
it's like, take your wagon, go to Tumbleweed, pick up this, and go to Ansburg, right? And
Yeah.
along the way, they have ambushes, right? By banditos or whatever, right?
Yeah, like let them take a different route than what everybody is gonna go through. Like let them go through like
The
a
Grizzlies or
little,
whatever.
yeah, and then you hear like a gunshot in the distance, and then like a few bandits show up, and you got either run away or just shoot them down, and then keep going. So something like that where it keeps people. I'm not trying to be rude about it, but like keep people from like just staying in a town. Let
Yeah.
them let them go see the Grizzlies or see something they've never seen before, and be
Well,
like, oh, maybe I should go check this out next time.
yeah, and like I don't know whether you probably haven't done it yet, but the moonshine wagon, like the harder you go, the more shit falls out the back, right? So they could have that right where like the goods are at 100% by the time they get from like A to B, Whether you've
Oh
gone
yeah.
nice and steady and you've had your full crew of like wagon people and repairs and
Or like the guy be like, oh, I see there's a bullet hole in this jug here. What happened?
yeah,
Oh, nothing.
yeah, the wagon's got like one dead horse and like three wheels hanging off. That's not a bad one. That's definitely not a bad one.
Because the like end of the day, I want people to have fun in the server and not just be, oh, I love roads with my life. Let me just stay in roads. Like I was an armadillo person. I loved armadillo,
Well,
but I
do you not think that
like,
there 3.0 was definitely like, gang A is here, gang B is here. If gang B is not here, they're doing a job. Do you not think that 4.0 people travel a lot more? I feel like you
they
still
do,
get
yeah,
I feel like you still get like, the roads person, right? And that's their base and that's fine, but like
yeah, that's fine.
I think, and I've said this before quite a bit, the boat from Saint to Guarma, Guarma to Blackwater and back, like game changer for travel east to west. And I do,
That actually, that is a nice addition to it. Yeah,
yeah, uh, and I do think people do travel a lot more. Like they're not just sitting on their porch. They're, you know, half the group's over there, half the group's over here. And it's nice to see.
yeah, or even like with the addition to the boat, like make it like where maybe there's something the boat guy needs from Guarma instead of just being, oh, let me get on the boat, let me go from Blackwater to Saint Denis, but just from Guarma and not just enjoy Guarma. Let the
Uh,
boat guy be like, oh, I'm missing some barrels here and there. You want to grab it from me at this spot or this or last scene or whatever.
yeah, the one like I love the boat, but I think one thing it maybe needs is a little cooldown where you can't just like Saint D spawn in, go to NPC Blackwater. Like you're there within 10 seconds. I think there should be a little,
Yeah,
you know, if the boat from Saint D leaves at on the hour, right? The boat from Guarma to Blackwater is like 10 past. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a little. It's almost a bit too fast travel, right? Make it a little bit slower fast travel. Because like if something's happening in Saint Denis, you get on the boat, you can be in fucking Armadillo before someone's even hit roads. Almost, you know what I mean? Like
hmm just make it like
just slow it down, just slow the
mhm.
fast travel down a little bit. Like nothing too crazy because I love it as well, right?
You gotta get your food, but just plan ahead of time.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, right? Like, a good example of like the fast travel and like zooming around. You can get on the boat to Gorma. You can sprint to where the black market guy is. If he's not there, you can get back to Saint Denis before the boat leaves. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
you know,
There should be a little thing there, yeah.
yeah. Just slow it down just a tad, right? But I do think it's one of the best things they've added in quite a while for like travel and stuff like that.
It's also fun where you don't really expect and you hear the horn, you get scared.
Oh, the horn's fucking loud. Yeah,
I
it's not too
think the
bad.
first time I heard it, I was in Blackwater. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, are we
Yeah,
getting attacked?
yeah, because you can hear it the whole way all over Blackwater. Saint Denis not too bad because eventually you'll be out of range, but Blackwater, you're like, when the boat's coming.
hmm
What about RP overall? How are you finding the quality of RP from 3 to 4 overall?
It's actually been a lot more fun than 3.0. Like, I see a lot more actions being used instead of just like we're having a conversation. It's just like, okay, well, this person is also looking around the room or looking at their hand or fidgeting or something like that.
Yeah,
Instead of just like we're standing like face to face and we're
yeah
just
we're standing face to
talking.
yeah, they're standing face to face, fucking almost T posed, right? Just yeah,
hmm
like
I
mannequins.
think I think the I sort of bring some sort of fun into it, and then like I see a lot of people do as well, but the interactions or like using like a chair or a prop or something, and they bring that into the whole conversation. So I like the change that there's more role play than just we're just chatting.
Yeah. Is there anything? Now you said you played 2.0. I played a little bit of 2.0. Is there anything? And I know we're sort of like going way back here to the start of the conversation, but it just popped in my head. Is there anything from 2.0 that you miss that you wish was in 4.0?
um,
And you
I don't
can't you,
think
you,
people.
you can't say naughty time.
No, no, no. Oh wait, there was. I didn't do that, but okay. No. There was one, and it was a lifesaver for me because of where I was at in the West. But fishing with a bow,
Oh, that's right. That's right. You could just yeah.
it was just
I
like
remember that.
I can't find a pronghorn or goat or a pig. Okay, let me just go to this lake right here. Let me just kill these 5 fish, and then I have food for a while.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck, I remember that there. Yeah.
It was fun because it was just like, okay, well, I can't find food. There's nobody in Tumbleweed either. The saloon's not open. I need something to eat, or I'm gonna just keep dying.
Yeah.
And you just go down to the lake, hunt 4 or 5 fish, and then you have food for a while.
Fuck. Okay. Look, I'm hoping, and just so people know, like Simmons is going to be on eventually. I'm going to have to write that one down.
Write it down.
Bow fishing.
I mean, they can have fun with it. Be like they can make own like a special fishing boat or whatever.
No, 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 no. We're not going down that path again. No, no, no. All right.
that
Chat. Start thinking
that
of
and then
any questions, by the way, you have for Martine. We'll get some questions from chat for Martine. But yeah, anything Martine that you want to add? Like, is there anything that you want to bring up, or like ask me, or
hmm, what was your most stressful job that you've done or not done or even been a hostage of? I was like, okay, well, this is fucking going crazy. What's going on here?
the mo- the first time doing the Symphony Bank, the I was a host. Carter was a hostage, right? And they forgot me whenever they were blowing the doors off.
So
Now,
you're just a crispy Carter.
I didn't die. I didn't die, but I ragdolled basically from one side of the fucking bank to the other, right? And it's not a perma condition that I have anymore, but I did have a perma condition in 3.0, near the end of it, that if he died as a hostage in a situation and it felt right and it was a good RP, he would have permed.
Ooh.
Yeah, because
Okay.
law's there, right? The gang's
Mhm.
there. They fucked up or they've killed me, or because like this thing, um, I sort of think that people are scared to attack the hostage, right? Because then you get like bigger charges. You maybe go in JD for it, right? But yeah, near the end of 3.0, whenever it was very solo and it was quiet, one of his conditions was dies as a hostage. Because a lot of permas, law are working off crumbs, right? But if you die as a hostage in a bank or the governor's building or a store, law's already there, right? So
Yeah, they see you and then they see the group that took you, so they already have a good head start to the investigation.
yeah, yeah. Oh well, they have them dead to rights, you know.
Hmm.
Can I talk to the hostage? Is he okay? Well, his head's missing, so
How about a mama mission? What was one that you liked doing when you were part of the Royals?
I, I got like The Moonshine week was really good for the first 4 days, and then it was just like we're done. It was the best worst.
That was that was best worst because it was like, okay, well, we should start early, and they were like, no, we should just let's just farm and get everything ready for a big batch.
We didn't
And we're
have
like,
to. The Royals didn't have to do anything. The only thing that we had to do was make mash. Like, and then the reason why it was so fun was because we were in a lot of gangs' heads doing nothing, right? I remember it was myself and Mia and Carter went out to when you did Mash in the Swamp, uh, and the merchants were there with the Ravens, right? And like, I was talking to Jesse Jameson, and I was just like, taking a break, Jesse. I'm fucked. Like we've got so many stills going, right? And we had
you
not
just
done.
go,
Look, this was day 5, and we'd stopped in day 4, right? But it was like the mind games was so fun. Um, and then the last still, right, that we did was on top of the twins in the Heartlands.
oh, okay,
Yeah, which is
yeah.
now called Cockrock, right? But we did one up there. Law were extremely confused. They actually negotiated, and then it turned into a shootout. But like, yeah,
I
the
think for me it was that too. Like it was because that was when we first got like we first met the merchants or whatever, and that was when but a good little scene because they they caught us like when we were getting pineapples.
oh, the Great Pineapple War 3.0. Were you part of that?
Mm. I think we started it, but we weren't part of it
Man,
because like they took us and they were like, well, we gotta
uh,
take this and this and this, and they were like, okay, well,
yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do, and then
the Great
what was his
Pineapple
name?
War will go down in fucking history.
It was good because I wanted a storyline to play out and I wanted it to sort of happen, but it never did because I think somebody killed the character. But I wanted Martine wanted to kill Lord Philip.
Oh, look, fucking pick a number, get in line. Everybody wanted to kill Lord Philip. Jesus Christ.
It was because he put a barrel in his mouth and like keep talking or keep yawning or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, well, here, I already have my eyes on you now. And
Yeah,
like I was trying to play it out so slowly, but like when I wanted it to happen, it was I kind of like heard the news like somebody like he died. I'm like, oh fuck, well there goes that story I wanted to happen.
yeah, yeah. No, look, everyone and their mum did not like Lord Lord Philip.
He was an interesting person. Like I didn't personally hate him, but
Oh
I'm
no,
pretty
no,
sure some other people did. But
no, no,
like
no,
yeah,
no,
the
no.
character.
The character was fucking awful.
The character was just annoying as shit.
Yeah,
Like, here comes Lord Philip, and smells like what chocolate daisies or chocolate something.
yeah. He always smelled the chocolate. Yeah, true, true, true. Uh, what was the least favorite mama mission for you that you did?
Least favorite was the swamp grow.
I'm just not look. Friday to a Sunday, Friday to a Monday, right? I think a week is it's a week is 3 days too long for an event.
Yeah, they should give you. So they should give you a heads up. Okay, this is what is gonna happen in the mom mission, and then it's gonna be on these days, like two days, 3 days, or whatever tops.
Yeah,
That that leaves some sort of fun and like something going on instead of just constant, law getting calls or doctors getting calls of a certain spot of like fight people down over and over and over.
yeah. No, I
But
just think like long events, sure, but a week is just too much.
yeah, but the funnest one was the moonshine because we got in a little shootout with the WSO and shout out to Delilah, she was part of it too.
You know,
I have
I'll say this right now: Merchants and the Ravens should have been disqualified by Mama for teaming up. I'm just gonna say that. Everyone thinks it. I'm gonna say it
no, I'll say it too.
because the Royals would have been in second place, doing fuck all for 4 days.
And then like Okay, so there's another fun little thing. I'm not sure if you were in it, but it was when the Ravens were in JD or whatever, and the merchants did like a big ass gang meeting in Korma, and
uh,
everybody was just like, "That's the dumbest idea ever. What is the end result of something that is not going to happen?"
the only gang that was gonna go and actually do something was the Royals. Like we even talked to like Jose about this afterwards. Like, everyone else was like, nah, fuck them.
I mean, like, okay, roleplay wise, it would have been fun, but like, it would have just been the same thing. Marshall just swinging their dick around and then just dismantling every gang or just constantly harassing them.
Yeah. Could
And
could
that,
could
that
have
was the
could have stole
idea,
a Gatling gun though, right?
Hmm. I was like, yeah, they're gonna come in with fucking Gatling guns and just destroy every town.
But I do know what you mean though. It would have, because obviously the Marshall HQ was up in the fucking Heartlands, right? Like it would
Hmm.
have been sick if the Marshall's HQ had like six Vipers, six Royals, six merchants. Like the whole place is surrounded.
Yeah, just every all around the fence, the
Yeah,
fencing post or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah. Like completely against the rules, right? But
Just be like,
it
Virgil,
will look
we got to talk.
sick, right? Oh, there's 20 laws sitting there. Oh, there's like 60 fucking criminals.
And then you see horses like down the hill too,
Yeah.
but more criminals. You're like, oh yep,
It would be
you have
it
to
would be
wait.
like Lord of the Rings whenever the orcs fucking arrive at Helm's Deep.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Frag asks, well, I'll add a bit to this, right? If you were trapped on a desert island and you could only play 2.0, 3.0, or 4.0, which would you pick?
Ooh. I love 3.0, but I really liked 2.0. I was kind of getting
Oh,
into
okay.
everything.
Right, yeah, the freshness.
I was just learning, and there's like different mining spots. You gotta hit this rock for this certain material instead of just hitting rocks and you get a shitload of materials.
Yeah.
It was different
Even though I didn't
and
really,
dual willed.
yeah, even though I didn't really play a lot of 2.0, like the bag system can go fuck itself, right? The storage system awful. I do miss the little Minecraft like crafting uh, thing,
Hmm.
where you got to put certain order. I do miss that. I think that was a very good thing. But the bag system in
I
2.0,
miss
ugh.
I miss being able to make my own anti venom.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I think it was like 3 water and 1 snake venom or something like that.
that's one thing I must actually ask Simmons and Mafia if there was anything ever missed from 2.0 with that crafting system, whether something wasn't found. There's got to be something, right?
But yeah, 2.0 for sure. I was really digging it, and then I think that was the only one where you can. Well, for me, it was in Paraíso, but the gunsmith, you can make a gun and the person could see it, like actual on the bench.
Right.
So
Okay.
you didn't have to, oh, look over my shoulder and, nudge, nudge, you'll see what I'm making.
Yeah. All right, we'll get on the last few sort of things here because usual 1 hour podcast. We're over 2 hours right
Oh, shit.
now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Martin, permit conditions.
Oh,
Like I'm not asking you to spoil them, but does he have permit conditions?
I have one. No, I'm not going to say it.
No, no, no. Don't.
When it happens, it happens. And it's.
And here's the thing: will if it involves somebody, will you give them the heads up, or are you gonna fucking blindside them?
I'll probably give him a heads up.
Oh no, blindside's always the way to go. Rip the bandage off in one go. And if 5.0 dropped tomorrow, right, and you couldn't play Martine, would you play a criminal again, or would you try law, doctor, something else?
I would Probably play criminal.
It's just you.
Not because of what I'm used to. Just like maybe there's something different in 5.0 that I want to dabble in.
Yeah.
Like law, you already know what you're gonna do with law. Ride a horse, lasso people, report
After 2 minutes. After 2 minutes. Come
after
on.
2 minutes. Yep, after 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna count 7 Mississippis in 3 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's pretty slow.
The doctor, I don't think people knew, but I did play a little bit of doctor here and there in 3.0. It fun, but no, I'd be criminal still.
Right. Fair.
Funny enough, the doctor character was the brother to the person that was Martin's sister.
Blurring the lines there just a little, just a
Yeah.
tad. Yeah.
She's like, I need a brother. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Let's have some fun.
I don't know whether our asses or not. Is there anything from 3.0 that you would bring to 4?
You did. I think we said the lock picking.
Oh yeah. No, pickaxe in the doors. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, I had that too.
Right. Well, Martin, like we'll call it there. This is a quick 1 hour, 2 hour, 10 minutes podcast. But like, appreciate you coming on.
It was good. Appreciate it.
Chat. Next podcast is Monday night. This coming Monday, it is 9 p.m. UK, 4 p.m. EST. It is Rosie, the one,
AKA the opposite of me, the busiest blacksmith in the
yeah,
county.
yeah, the Rosie, a business owner who actually works. Put it like that, right? So Rosie on Monday, and then I'm getting Simmons lined up for maybe the end of next week. But yeah, guys, this will be posted up on the YouTube tomorrow. I'll get a link in the Discord by the admins. Appreciate it as always, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Take care, everybody.